if God is our origin from Him, and He is our return, and that is a formula in Islam that we say, especially when someone passes, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. From Allah He came, and surely to Him He will return. Circular movement back to Him. Then Allah is our maqsood. God is our goal, because He is our origin. And to want Him, to be with Him as He is with us, that is our goal, and that is our wish. But there is something else that our Shaykh taught us. What you're going to do when you're with Him. Say you want to be close. Then what? What happens after that? You want to cling to Allah. You want to be with Him. When you are with Him, then what happens? You're just going to stay in a state of bliss? That's selfish. Again, it's about you. It's not about Allah. We are, as in our tradition, we are desirous to return to Him, because He is our origin. And whether we like it or not, we are going to return. Everyone is going to return, because everyone has been created from that and will return to that. But the journey now will be different from one person to another. Some, they understand that reality to return to Him, and they make that journey here from this world, going back to Him. So they shorten that journey because they start here. Some say, I don't want to start it, I want to start it later. Start it when? Later in my life. When I've spent all my desires, when I've spent all my energy, then that's the time I'm going to start thinking. You can't do as much. Some say, I'm not even going to think, and I don't believe, but you're going to make that journey from the grave. And that journey now will become more and more hazardous, more and more dangerous. And the one who is awake will start that journey as soon as he understands, as soon as he remembers, in whichever capacity that he's able to. Now, in our tradition, once we understand that little bit, we're going to look for a sheikh, a guide. Who is that sheikh? That is, a sheikh is the one who is representing a prophet. He is an inheritor of the prophet. And his role, his job is to take you from this world to the next. He is the one who is a guide, like the guide who knows how to navigate through these mountains, because he has walked up and down these mountains thousands of times, and he knows where is the best places to walk, where is the dangerous ones to avoid. And he has done that, and he knows the way, and is showing us the way, the quickest way, the best way to reach to our destination. That is a guide. And that guide, who is inheritor of the Prophet, is given that authority to do. Now a man may say, I want to make the journey alone. You may. But like Mawlana Rumi is saying, the one without a guide, the journey, instead of being one day, it may take 1 year. If you don't know how to get there, and you say, I don't want to follow anyone out of stubbornness, although the one is saying, I've walked this way, I'm being sent. You may walk if you want. He says, no. They say, so be it. Then you're going to take a much longer way and a much more dangerous way. And you may suffer a lot before you meet the end of the road, which is your goal. So in our tradition, it is not also this, especially in our dergah, it is not this clinging on to Allah that we are looking for. We are looking for usefulness, that Allah can use us, to make us to represent Him, and to use us to be His servant, to serve Him and to serve creation. Our role models are the prophets. And the prophets, they were spending times just alone with their Lord, but majority of the time they were spent with mankind. Because now it is not enough to just say, I'm with my Lord. Now, when you are with your Lord, now there's more responsibility for you to show others the way. Whether they accept or they don't accept, you are not an authority on them, Allah is saying. But you make the invitation to them, and those who are sincere, they will come. Allah is the one who's turning the hearts. He's the turner of hearts. But now your responsibility is not just to be okay and to be accepting everything, or to cling on to Allah and to be desirous of that. You go one step higher and to say, how can I be useful to my Allah, to God? How can I serve Him? No longer we are just in this situation where Allah is going to serve us. So, but of course, when you reach to that station where you are a servant of Allah and you serve His creation, you also come to the situation where you will know that certain things, it is the will of Allah, and you're accepting. And certain things, you understand there is the will of Allah, but others are using their own will, or shaitanic will, or egoistic will, that is not according to the will of Allah. Whatever that is in your power, in your capacity, to guide those wrong wills to the way of Allah, you must do. If you don't have that power, you cannot. Even if you are in the right, you cannot. But the Prophet ﷺ said, in our religion, you must, when you see something good, you must encourage it. And when you see something evil, you must forbid it. It is a requirement in our spirituality. And the Prophet said, when you see something evil, first, you must correct it. If you cannot correct it with your hands, correct it with your tongue. If you cannot correct it with your tongue, then at least you have to correct it in your heart. So now, like I said, people then must know where their stations are, what is it that they can do and what they cannot do. Because not everything is given to everyone. Not everything is given to you at one time in your life. Certain things that you understand when you're 16, it's different when you're 40. It's different when you're 60. Different in different kinds of situations and experiences that you have. So now, when we have the authority to change it with our hands, we must. If we don't have that authority, you must change it with your tongue. You may speak. But you cannot say, this is acceptable, or this evil, this wrong, it is right. It is not. You cannot do that. You cannot even speak. In so many areas of the world, you cannot even speak. So what can you do? He says, then have it in your heart. But that is the lowest level of faith. But we've come to this time now that in Islam, in Tariqat, in Sufism, that is also current in so many other belief systems, they're saying we're living now in the time of the Ahir Zaman, in the end of times, in the darkest of times, in the, some saying is Kali Yuga, darkest of times. Sorrow, it is everywhere. Oppression, it is everywhere. And if we read what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has said about the signs of the last days, we say it is all fulfilled. And it is not something that we say, oh, this was done 500 years ago also, or 1,000 years also. No. We see it being done only now at such a widespread way that majority, they are following in the wrong way. We're trying to pull ourselves back from all of that. So now, we want to be useful. We want our Lord always to be pleased with us. That is our maqsood, that is our goal, that is our meaning. And those ones who are our role models are the prophets and the saints. And they've always been those ones that are the instruments of Allah. Inshallah, one day we will be. This much we can say. Assalamu alaikum. Any questions we have?